Hello, I'm Bill, KJ6EO, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. I have an interesting video for you today. That is, if you're interested in linear amplifiers. I have a mint condition linear amplifier back from 1979 that a lot of people agree that is probably the best sweep tube amplifier that was ever made. So let's get right into it. I'd like to introduce you to my mint condition Palomar 300A amplifier. We have power on and off, operate standby, preamp on and off. We have high and low power, and we have AM and single sideband. We have a tune control, band switch 10 through 40, and a load control, and the matching power supply. If you see this amplifier for sale on eBay, please remember that you need this matching power supply for the amp to function. Now, if you're very resourceful, you can probably make your own power supply, but I think it would be a whole lot easier just to make sure that it comes with the power supply. On the back of the amplifier, there is also a driver tune control, which peaks the output of the two driver tubes. So let's have a closer look. And again, I would like to mention that this amp is in mint condition. I've never seen one in this condition. So it is really a pleasure to own. Let's have a look inside. I've tipped the amp up so you can have a little bit better look at it. What we have here is two 6LF6s driving four 6LF6s. What's nice about this amp is you have a drive control, and it's a switch that's on the front of the amp. It has a low position and a high position. The high position is switching in the two driver 6LF6s, so you have two driving four, and then you can drive the amp with either 5 watts AM or 12 watt single sideband, and it will give about 800 watts out. Now, if you want to drive it in the low position, then the drivers are taken out of the circuit and you're driving only the finals. So you can end up driving it with 80 to 100 watts, and that gives about 500 watts out. I have a couple of different radios that I drive this amp with. I have a modified Galaxy DX959 CB with the DDS VFO modification in it. If I want to use that rig on 10 meters, of course, it only has 12 watts single sideband out, so I change the switch position. But if I want to drive it with a ham rig, of course, I have 100 watts out, so I change the switch position accordingly to drive only the finals. So as you can see by looking in this amp, the mint condition, the impeccable condition that this amp is in, it's just fantastic. Now, before I use this amp, I did some maintenance, and I also did a modification to it to ensure that I would get many, many years of reliable operation for it. One of the first things that I did is I switched out the cooling fan. I was able to find another OEM cooling fan on eBay. I had thought, not on eBay actually, but somewhere else, I had thought of putting a muffin fan in here, but I wanted to keep it factory original, so that's why I went with the OEM fan. This fan does produce a lot of vibration, and it was a common problem in this amp. The top cover rattles a little bit. A lot of people will stick a coin under the front plate of the amplifier or a paper clip to stop that noise. But this is the driver tune for the two 6LF6 drivers. You can see this is the relay board right here. Control relay, then you have a relay for the preamp, and then the main TX, RX relays. This is the RF sense. This transistor and the capacitor adds some delay time to the circuit when you're in single sideband. So let's go ahead and flip it over and have a look at the other side. This is the bottom side of the amplifier. One of the first preventive maintenance things that I did was to switch out the capacitors in the voltage doubler for obvious reasons, since they were well over 40 years old. There's a couple of other electrolytics that I changed here, this one and this one. I also added this high voltage relay, which is a modification. You can find it in other videos on YouTube about how to install it. But basically all that you're doing is you're qualifying the incoming voltage from the external power supply, and you're qualifying it through this relay before it gets into the voltage doubler. Then the relay is controlled by the control relay circuit in the amplifier. So when the amp keys up, high voltage is put to the voltage doubler board and then becomes the B+ and goes to the plates of the tubes. Basically what this modification prevents is if you have a short when the amplifier is sitting around in standby, it won't burn the amplifier down. It still doesn't prevent it from having a short when you're keyed up, but at least you can unkey and you know, probably save something. So this is a very good modification. It's easy to do. There are different versions of this voltage doubler board, the high voltage board, so you have to kind of take a look and figure out where you pick up the voltages at. This board was already modified for the fourth relay, which was actually installed by Palomar on some of the later amplifiers. This board was designed for it, but it wasn't included for some reason. It was just jumpered out across here like the other side of the lead coming in from the transformer is. And right here on this amp is where I picked up the signal to key the relay from the control relay in the amplifier. So that's about it. Oh yes, this right here is your input tune for your drivers, the 26LF6's drivers, and then this is the input tune for your finals. And basically you would tune these by putting an SWR bridge in between your rig and the amplifier and tuning these for minimum SWR. Some people also do it by just keying up the amplifier and tuning these for maximum output, because as the SWR goes down, then the incoming drive power increases, so you get more output. So that's basically it for my mint condition Palomar 300A. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a pleasant day. Thank you.